Hey, what's happening? So one of my students just left the lesson room and he was asking me, how do I remember things? How do I memorize songs and chord progressions? How do I keep all that stuff straight when there's so much information, there's so many songs? So I was thinking about it and I thought I'd share some thoughts with you. I think the musician's mind works a little differently than maybe other people's minds in the way we learn things. Everything isn't linear in a musician's mind. It's not like one step after another. It's kind of like hunting and gathering. Like you might go out and grab something way out here that's not really the next thing in line necessarily. It's kind of like a hurricane, like entrails go like this, and we're grabbing things way on the outskirts and kind of pulling them in as we go. So maybe like a jigsaw puzzle where you learn something out here, but you don't know the thing that's here, and that line, that connection between the two is where the confusion comes from because we're picking things out way far apart that aren't necessarily the next thing in line as we'd like it to be, like in math where everything's linear. So I was thinking about that. What happens in a musician's mind is there's connectivity. You find something that's like something else, and then you make that connection. And as soon as you make that connection, now you have something that you can categorize it with that's like it, and you can put it in a little box in your brain and say, this is like this. So, for example, the key of the song. If the key is the same key as a different song, let's say they're both in the key of A, that can go into your A box. That's something in the key of A. If it's the same tempo as a different song, now you have that similarity. So maybe it's not the same key, but it's the same tempo. But if it is the same key and tempo, it's sort of like doubly connected to the other thing. So you'll kind of start to have that similarity happen. Maybe it's the same genre as a different song. Maybe it's the same production. Like they're both from the same era, right? They both have the same kind of glossiness or lack of glossiness. That's a different way to kind of categorize and put things together. Sometimes the arrangement of the song can be very similar to another arrangement, like the same thing. There's a verse and a chorus and a bridge, and it's the same exact thing as another song. A lot of songs are kind of cookie cutter like that. So you can actually superimpose some songs over other songs, like the mash-up songs, where it's the same song fits over another song because they're so similar in the way that they're created with the verses and the choruses, the bridge and the outro, that they're kind of the same song. So that's a great way to categorize it. Another thing is the techniques involved. What techniques are you're using when you're playing? If it's the same technique, let's say there's all kinds of like chugging going on or something, all those chug songs can be put together in a box. So you can have boxes that are like one similarity or two things that are the same, two things that are the same or three things that are the same. The more things that are the same, the more they're going to be like something else, which helps you to categorize that even better. The orchestration of the song, what instruments are used? Are there 4 or 5 different instruments? Is it just bass, drums, and guitar? Is it a trio? Is it a quartet? Is it a quintet? Those things can be something that's similar to something else. Is it a piano, bass, and drums? Piano, bass, drums, and sax? Is there a guitar in there? Are there shakers or percussion? All those things in my mind are like something else that I can say, hey, this is like that song because it's like this. This is the same. Maybe it's the same guitar tone, kind of the same sounds coming out of the guitar. It's 2 Les Paul songs, 2 Stratocaster songs. They're going to be similar in your mind also. And the same effects. Maybe this one song has a whole bunch of reverb, or maybe it's a song with a lot of delay. So the delay songs kind of get lumped together too. Sometimes the chord forms you play on the guitar through the Cage system might be similar to a different song. So you can categorize songs with chord forms. This chord form is like that chord form. So you're going to see those similarities also. It's a great way to categorize that in your mind because this song's like that song because the chords are pretty similar, even if they're in a different key, it's sort of the same progressions happening. Chord progressions are a big one. Same chord progression from this song to this song. Maybe it's the same similar melody. Maybe it sounds a lot like this song. It's not exactly the same, but it has this particular melodic leap in it. The point is, the more things that you find that are similar from one song to another song, and some of them are very obvious and some are not so obvious, you can put those into a little box in your mind, in your warehouse of your brain, whatever that is, that you store your musical information. And when you go to access things, you can say, hey, this environment is what this is like. So, for example, I have a lot of things I've learned that are kind of in the environment of A. It's not really A major or A minor. It's just A. So everything in A kind of gets lumped together. Everything in E gets lumped together. Everything in G gets lumped together. Everything that's a dance song gets lumped together. Everything that's a disco song gets lumped together. The more ways you can find connectivity from one thing to another, your brain will catalog that stuff and you will memorize things faster because you'll have an entire sort of you'll have an entire database to draw from, different similarities, instead of thinking like, okay, this is a song from the 1970s and it's a disco song and it has this sort of tempo and this sort of feel. So I'm going to find other songs that have all all four of those same things that are the same, and lump those together. It's like cards. It's like playing poker. You have a better hand if you have more things that are similar, like four of a kind. That's great. That's more obvious. But sometimes you can have one similarity with something else that you can link together, and it will help you to memorize a song because you can kind of catalog it like something else. Before you know it, you'll have all this stuff happening. Your brain's like, bzzz, and everything is connected to everything else, and everything's a lot easier to memorize. So hopefully that will help you. Start thinking along those lines. Look for things that are similar to something else. Find similarities to make your connections when you're memorizing things, and your musician brain will explode, and you'll start to have a much larger database of stuff to draw from, because you're finding just one or two or three things that are the same versus having to have everything be exactly the same, which at some point does happen for particular genres. Like a hair metal song from one band is an awful lot like a hair metal song from another band, but the hair metal song from one band can be exactly like a song from Motown that is the same arrangement, which you can find those mosh-ups on YouTube where they're kind of the same. They're moshed up because the arrangement was the same. So it's almost like the record company took a formula 30 years later and said, this song is like this song, so 30 years later, we're going to do the same formula because it worked before. Hopefully that makes sense, and this is helpful for you in memorizing music and makes it simpler for you. All right, see you later. Thanks.